Okay, so we start. Now this particular lesson, the lesson 3, is basically focusing on understanding the agile teams which are forming the agile release train. Yeah? So we will learn what are the roles and their jobs in agile team. So for example, we learn about something called Scrum Master, which is happening at a team level, product owner. Scrum Master can also be called team coach now. So team coach, product owner, and team members. So this is something we are going to learn in this lesson. We also learn that this whole group formed as a one bigger group, and we call it agile release train. So there will be some leadership roles also. These roles are the one who takes care of the complete train. Yeah? So they ensure the leadership and coordination and facilitation at a complete train level. So we learn about them. And we learn about the whole thing which is called agile release train. Yeah. So that's the perspective or a goal for this particular lesson 3. We also learn how this agile release train operate in a sprints. So we learned yesterday that we have something called planning interval, which is divided into multiple iterations. Yeah, we learn about 5 iterations here. In this class, we will learn how this iteration operates. So we will learn how this Scrum kind of process is followed by each team in order to produce a validatable product at the end of 2 weeks. Yeah, so we learn that. We don't learn about PI planning and all, but we understand that there is a one backlog which is at ART level. Probably I want to just give it a name. We call it ART backlog. And we understand that during the PI planning meeting, which will be happening during innovation and planning iteration, this backlog gets discussed and each team picks up some work from here inside the PI planning meeting, and they come back and they maintain their detailed detailed backlog, which is an expansion of the same thing. So this team will also come up and they will maintain their own private detailed backlog. And this backlog is called team backlog. So we will learn there is a product owner role who will maintain a team backlog, and we will learn that there is a product management role who will maintain the ART backlog. So more than this, I think with the help of slides, but we are primarily focusing on what is agile release train, what are the roles in the agile release train, what they do, and we also see the sprint cycle which is followed in the Scrum world. Yeah. So that's the objective of learning this lesson. Usually this becomes an area of interest after going through all the theories, because now we are touching something which is more concrete. Now, one thing to remind again, in the lesson 1, we learned about 7 business agility competencies. You might have ignored that point in time because it was too much information coming in the beginning. And we learned that SAFe has an assessment framework, and they tell that we enables these business agility competencies to achieve business agility for you. The lesson 2 was mapped to one of the competency which is called lean agile leadership. And inside the lean agile leadership, they had 3 further dimensions: the lean agile mindset, lead by example, and lead the change. The lesson 2 was more focused on lean agile mindset. So that's something we have explored in the lesson 2. On a same line, the lesson 3 is focused on team and technical agility. So team and technical agility is one of the competency of business agility. So which means, do you have a people who can code? Do they have a mechanism to coordinate their work? Do they have a mechanism to coordinate at a bigger team level? Yeah? And if you have it, you can say your organization has team and technical agility. There could be an assessment framework around that as well. And SAFe has a recommendation to enable team and technical agility. So what are these? We are saying the team and technical agility has a 3 dimension. You should form agile team, having product owner, team coach, and team members. You should follow good quality practices so that you have a built-in quality. And then you should have a mechanism to coordinate and manage work at a multiple team level. And when you have skills in these 3 areas, we can say that you have a team and technical agility there. Yeah? So other dimensions are still needs to be there in order to achieve business agility. But if you don't have a team and technical agility, then anyway you will not be able to achieve anything, because you may have a great idea, but there are no people who can code that idea. Yeah? So we can say the team and technical agility is kind of technical foundation for doing business agility. The leadership was the business or a management foundation. Here we are looking at a team and technical agility. So in this lesson, we look at these three topics only. We focus on what is agile team. We learn that. We focus on what is building quality, and we focus on how do we organize around agile release train. Yeah. Any question till here? All good? Okay, we move. So forming the cross-functional agile teams. They are following more or less all Scrum ideas, but they want to change some of the names so that it looks little different. Yeah. Rather than calling Scrum, they call it Safe Scrum. So we have a Safe Scrum, and the teams are expected to follow Safe Scrums. So whenever we talk about agile, at an atomic level, we still need to have a small agile team, say 10 people or say 19 members, scrum masters and product owner, over all like up to 11 individuals. So typically 10 or less, something like they roughly used it rather than getting into the too much mechanics of numbers. And the small teams are optimized for communication. They have a special role. One is a scrum master or a team coach role who is facilitating the overall development and delivery. And then there is a product owner who takes care of someone spoke about when we were talking about business people and developer talks together daily. Then someone said, the product owner can represent the business to the team. So that's the product owner role, who understand the business requirement little better, and they are the one who are expected to work very closely with the team. So we can say that this small group having scrum master and product owner and having team member is called agile team. Now these team members should be cross-functional, which means it includes development, test, UX, whatever skill is needed in order to convert the requirement into running a thing, story to done story. Whatever is needed is a part of that particular team. So that's a cross-functional agile team, and that's the rule we had for Scrum also. Now, a little bit more on the role and responsibility of Scrum Master and Product Owner, and then we probably talk about how the whole process works. So that's the plan, and then I take a pause. So see, the role of a Scrum Master is little extended beyond our traditional Scrum Master for supporting the system thinking at agile release train level. So some of the things are exactly the same. The Scrum Masters are expected to focus on coaching, mentoring, facilitating retrospective, facilitating team sync-ups to ensure that we are building high-performing team, to ensure that we are bringing ownership and accountability in the team. So that role remains as it is. They are expected to support the iteration execution by way of handling impediments, by way of having transparency in the system, by way of facilitating the scrum level events, by way of ensuring that we are following qualities and definition of done. So they support the day-to-day execution of the iteration which the teams are running. They are expected to improve the flow by way of highlighting the bottlenecks, by way of facilitating work in progress limits, by way of facilitating demand and capacity match, by way of ensuring the teams are not planning too much beyond their capacity in a given sprint, and by way of removing impediments also they improve the flow. So these three things I think remains more or less relevant for the Scrum Master, taking care of team and facilitating and moving forward. On top of it, they are also expected to work in ART performance. So you can say Scrum Masters are expected to work well with their fellow Scrum Masters to ensure that we have a good collaboration amongst different agile team, and in order to achieve a system thinking. So ensuring the dependencies are visible, ensuring dependencies are tracked, ensuring that issue or a status related to dependencies informed to the other teams well in time, and participating in various activities so that we have an ART level a movement of our work. So that's another additional responsibility of Scrum Master, Many times it is done with the help of various sync up meetings. So you may do a sync meetings with the other Scrum Masters, you do a problem solving meetings, and frequent communication and dependency management. The another thing which Scrum Master should do is getting things ready for PI planning meeting and facilitating your team level planning in a PI planning meeting. So as we learned a little bit that in a safe world, all team members are expected to participate in a PI planning meeting. Thanks to the question we discussed yesterday, we can say, yeah, there is a big meeting happening. Now, before you go for a meeting, you should know what is your velocity, what is your estimated velocity, how much work we have done last time. Based on that, what amount of work we can even plan. So Scrum Master should ensure that we have a clear idea of our capacity/velocity, should help the teams know with the help of retrospective what kind of planning mistakes we did last time so that we don't do it again. And during the PI planning meeting also, there will be a need of facilitation by way of drafting the plan and working with other teams. So Scrum Master is expected to facilitate team level planning inside the PI planning meeting. So in a simple word, you can say that these are the two additional stuff than our traditional Scrum Master, which is expected to be done by the Safe Scrum Master. Any question on Safe Scrum Master? Good. So it's the additional role, more work, for a Scrum Master. Now we take a product owner, then we take a pause. I will say the role of a safe product owner is little less than Scrum product owner. Now, ideally, they should call this guy team backlog owner, but they don't want to do that even in any version because it looks little lower. So here you see that we have a one big backlog, which is at an ART level. And we have another role called product management, which is the ART level role, who will take care of it because it's a common backlog for multiple agile teams. Then you have agile teams and they have their own product owner. So inside the PI planning meeting, each team pick up some work from the ART backlog. Now this work is usually at a high level requirement. We call it features. But now those features should be divided, splitted into small user stories so that they can be incrementally developed every 2 weeks. And we can see a demo at the end of it. And we should be delivering the feature with the help of maybe 10 user stories, just as an example. So who is the one who facilitate identification of those user stories, splitting of those user story, creating acceptance criteria around it? The product owner for a given team. And after that, this guy can also take care of prioritization of a team backlog. Now, when you did a PI planning meeting, you already had a high level priority agreed upon with the whole ART in the PI planning meeting. But on a day-to-day basis, on a sprint by sprint basis, we need to do a continuous refinement of team backlog and prioritize it for a given PI. That job is done by the product owner. So these are the two value he or she adds. Now on top of it, product owner will work closely. Here we run a ART backlog refinement process. So we can say that here we will have a ART Kanban system, Agile Release Train Kanban. Where we are focusing on identification of a features. So we identify them, and then we add acceptance criteria to it. We analyze them. So you may have a funnel stage where you are just adding the features. Then you may have an analysis stage where you are adding acceptance criteria to it. And finally, we put them into a ART backlog. Now this whole job is facilitated by product management. But while the product management is doing this job, it takes support from business stakeholders, key stakeholders, as we discussed in the beginning of the class. They also expected to engage system architect, and they are also expected to engage product owners. So the product owner has a better idea about what we are doing. So in a way, product owners are contributing to the ART level work. They are part of overall thing. They should be participating there, but not leading. Leadership at a ART level is done with the help of a role called product management. The ownership of a product owner in SAFe is a team backlog. So they own team backlog and they contribute to the ART backlog. So that's how we can understand at a super high level the role of a product owner. Now, product management is the one who is more interested and responsible for talking to business owners, doing external research, doing competitor analysis, seeing what is happening to a feature when it goes into the market, taking a validation back from the releases, analyzing the data of a delivered feature. So that key role is a product management, and the product management is expected to mentor, coach product owners. So the product owners are communicating the same intent in the user stories. So you can say the mentoring of product owners is done by the product management. Yeah. So we learn about product management role more, but that's the space where we can say this is the role of a product owner. So here, in a simple word, managing and prioritizing team level backlog, contributing to vision and roadmap with the help of product management, supporting the team in delivering value they do all the time, acceptance, clarity, clarification, iteration, review, and everything, connecting with the customer with the help of product management, and giving and applying feedback at a team level, also at a higher levels whenever relevant. So that's the product owner roles and responsibility. Any question, comment before I announce a break? And once we come back, we will explore more about team members, some quality ideas, and then a little bit more on release train level roles.
Yeah, although product management is yet to come, so product management is a single person role or more than one people?
In a safe word, it could be more than one. So it's like we are saying it's a group. So that's an interesting thing. We call product management a group. People inside the product management is called product managers. So you can say we have a one product management which may have a three product managers. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Good. And we will see it is not a decision making authority. They need to work very closely with the business owners. So in a safe word, it's not like product management will decide which feature goes in, which feature goes out. Not. They need to consult to the business owners, the key stakeholders, and collaboratively they need to decide. Anything else, anyone?
So Saket, if there are any conflicts, so generally in the Scrum world, right, we have the Scrum Master who will be taking care of the product owner, will be taking care of mainly on the conflicts or conflict resolutions or anything like. Now, at ART level, do we have any specific role?
Yes. So we will have another Scrum Master role, kind of a servant leader role, which we call release train engineer. So there will be a mentor and coach to the Scrum Masters, which is an ART level, and that role is called release train engineer. More or less doing the same job which is expected to be done by Scrum Master at a team level, they do it at a train level.
Okay. And any conflicts of, say, for the tasks that we are taking up, right? Like, now the product owners, I have, say, 3 product owners. I'm just taking a small example. Three product owners are it. And these Scrum teams are interested to probably take one particular task, Now, probably all 3 are interested in taking the same thing. Now, these type of conflicts or any tasks that will be taken, who will be the person who will be.
It depends upon the nature of conflict. So if you are talking about the nature of conflict, is a requirement
conflicts,
requirement allocation.
Mm-hmm.
So requirement allocation, the type of conflict better handled by product management, because product management is the mentor and coach of product owners. So that's the better space. But if the conflicts are related to technical challenges, then better handled by system architect. If no one could understand what type of conflict is, by default release train engineer, because any conflict, any problem is an impediment which is slowing you down. If nobody understands it, release train engineer should find out who should resolve it. Yeah.
Okay. So end of the day, we have roles for that, at the ART level will be taking care of for resolving these sort of conflicts. Yeah. It could be technical or it could be non-technical.
Yeah. So we have a ownership. So technical ownership with the system architect, requirement ownership with the product management, and overall movement ownership, flow ownership with the release train engineer. So if the flow is getting blocked, release train engineer need to ensure the flow is moving. The Scrum Master same does at a team level. And there is a specific area, we have area-wise accountabilities. Yeah. Good. So time to take a 10-minute break. Once we come back, we explore further about the roles and responsibility of team and ART level.